Welcome to Level Up with Winnie Sun.
Hi, friends. I'm Winnie, your host, Forbes contributor, CNBC council member, and award-winning financial pro, here to keep you on top of relevant, trending business news. But more importantly, you're part of today's discussion, and we'll be monitoring and sharing audience feedback throughout the program. Now, today, we are in for a real treat as we start to talk about something I love to talk about, and that is travel. This is going to include a series of programs that we have planned on this topic, and I'm sure you're thinking of vacations as well. So it's even more of a treat, though, because today I'm joined by my friend and In the Loop co-host, the one and only Greg Nibbler. Hey, Greg, how you doing?
Hello, I am doing doing great. I can't wait to be here today. See, I'm so excited. I'm already stumbling out of the gate. It's just really nice to be here. And I want to say thank you to everybody for joining us wherever you are, for tuning into this. And again, I am Winnie's co-host on The Loop. So I have been a tech journalist for years. I've worked for the NBA and comedy, all kinds of different formats. But I am really excited to be here to talk about travel. And I just actually recently took a trip. I know we're going to be covering that. I've got some travel stats for everybody as we get ready to head back out into the world if you're not already doing that. So we're going to be covering all of that. And I know we've got a special guest here on the show too. But Winnie, it is just so great to be here on this show with you. And I know you always started out by informing everyone of very important things going on in the financial world. As I've said before, this is where I learn a lot about what's going on because it makes it nice and easy to understand.
Well, thank you, Greg. It's such a treat to have you on Level Up. I almost want to have you here all the time. But also a big welcome to our friends Joshua and CrossX Fighters on YouTube. I see so many of you on all the different platforms. Thank you so much for joining us today. Now, I wish I had better news for you, but you know what? It's coming because you're not going to want to miss our guests. Let me tell you, I've been having fangirl moment all day waiting for Mark to join us. But before we get there, let's talk about the market. Unfortunately, it was a triple down day today. The Dow closed down 112 points, the Nasdaq down 95 points, S&P down 16. Now, Elon Musk is taking profits, though. Did you know that, my friends? Because today, Tesla stock was down about 12% as Elon Musk asked his followers, you may have seen this, what they thought about his plan to sell 10% of his shares. And it's not just Musk that's doing this. In fact, his current and former board members have also been offloading hundreds of millions of dollars of worth of Tesla shares. This is as of October 28th, just recently. Now, this shouldn't be surprising, though. Maybe for you it is. For me, not so much. I've been doing this for a really long time. Many companies utilize these stock selling schedules, especially for corporate insiders. Now, even Musk's brother, Kimball Musk, in fact, he sold $100 million right before Elon was talking about his pending sale. Now, today's drop in stock price is definitely substantial, but CNBC previously reported that Musk may be selling shares to actually pay down his debt because he owes the IRS some money in the area of maybe $15 billion. I'm really glad my tax bill isn't that high, but I'm sure you feel that way too, Greg. That's a pretty big tax bill.
I can't disclose, but it's not quite approaching that number. Yeah, to where we have to do that.
Yeah, privacy is a good thing, Greg.
Right.
We can't go into detail. Yeah, we can't. But that's good that Elon is sharing this. And on more positive news, Greg, this is what I'm excited to talk to you about because probably something that all of you are happy to hear, that things may be getting closer to normal because tourists and visitors are now coming from offshore, that is, here to the United States, as the U.S. has just lifted the pandemic travel ban and opens its doors back to international visitors. So yesterday, that was the big news that came out yesterday, the U.S. lifted restrictions, so people from Mexico and Canada and most of Europe, tourists are now able to reunite with their loved ones, family members, and resume those amazing U.S. vacations after more than a year and a half because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, according to CDC, the U.S. is going to accept travelers who have, number one, been fully vaccinated of any of the vaccines approved by WHO, and of course, of course, they show proof when they fly as well. So it's really important. But, Greg, we missed you last week because, we were supposed to do In the Loop last week, but I know you were out of town and I had honestly, my internet went down one day. So we weren't able to go live on our typical Thursday show. So I'm curious, where did you go?
Yeah. So I want to kind of talk about that too, and just walk through what I did. You're mentioning everybody kind of traveling more now too, with international travel coming in. And I love those videos too of people reuniting. Those are one of my favorite things to watch. I did have just a couple of travel statistics, if you would bear with me, that I pulled.
Absolutely.
Just in honor of this, that I thought were pretty interesting, just as people are planning these out. One of them was this: 40% of U.S. consumers have made travel plans for the remainder of 2021. So that's 40%. Wow. This is for kind of this fall quarter or winter quarter, I guess, of people, according to Consumer Reports. So I thought that was a pretty big statistic, meaning that a lot of people are going to be going places over these next holidays, at least.
Me included.
Yeah, and me too. Me too. Even last week, that's not enough for me. I'm still doing more. So yeah, that thought this was interesting too. Just talking about hotels, in that hotel demand has nearly recovered to pre-pandemic levels, currently sitting at just 4% below what it was in August of 2019. And wow, that to me is like a pretty big statistic. I'm sure our guests can, would be able to illuminate that a lot more, but yes, that seems pretty big. The fact that people are out there booking places and going around and feeling better about it. I thought that was pretty cool. One of the other ones was the daily number of travelers. So this is for air travel in particular, which is something that I just did. Daily number of travelers passing through TSA checkpoints has increased by 130% from September of 2020. So that's a lot more people. I'll say, since I was just at the airport, I can tell you in-person reporting that is definitely up compared to what it was even earlier this year.
I know. I remember you saying that.
Yeah.
I've been hearing some airports are packed.
Yeah. I will say Portland Airport, PDX, it is packed. There's construction going on right now, which adds to it. But it was surprising to me just how many people were out there, getting ready to go places and moving along. So it's I think a good sign that's showing some recovery there.
Yeah,
on that.
Absolutely. I know.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I just want to say Paul Hari is joining us from LinkedIn Live, and he's saying staffing levels are way less at those hotels. So that's probably something we can talk about at some point on another show too, because probably you've seen that. And hello, thank you so much, more LinkedIn Live. Gabe, I hope I'm saying this right. Welcome to the show. Jennifer, it's so great to see you as well. And thank you so much for being here. Yeah, tell us more, Greg.
Okay, just two more. I love statistics, so this is something. So I'm Greg Nebler for anybody joining. Okay, so one more was that the total number of air passengers in June 2021 is 304% higher than in June 2020. So the flights are starting to get packed, which means there's hopefully more flights coming. That's a good sign, I would think, for airlines, and just the fact that people are out there moving about. Whatever those causes are, whatever the reasons are, that's certainly pretty huge. 304%. That's pretty big.
That's a big number. Mm-hmm.
And then the last one was this: for those planning travel for the remainder of 2021. So going back to those people who are going to be traveling, that 40%, they said that 82% are planning to travel domestically versus 31% who are traveling internationally. So it sounds like a lot of people still not going international, but definitely domestic.
That makes sense. Stick to home. That's it makes sense. I think that there's a lot of stuff, a lot of places wonderful to visit here domestically anyway. So that makes sense.
There really are. Yeah. And, maybe baby steps before you get back out there, and doing the major trips. Maybe that's what people are doing. But you mentioned local trips, and that is something that I did as far as domestic anyway. And
where did you go?
I went to Bozeman, Montana, of all places. Probably not what people expected me to say. So, I actually went out there as part of a work trip, working for a company there, but I extended my stay and turned it into a vacation as well. So I stayed at a place in downtown Bozeman, Montana. So it's the home of Montana State University, kind of really in the heart of the Rockies right there. And I stayed at a place called The Lark. So The Lark is a hotel in downtown, and it's kind of, I don't want to say kitschy because that's not necessarily how they describe it, but it's really unique as far as how it's set up. Mm-hmm. Bozeman's kind of a unique place itself. It seems to have been a bunch of different businesses over the years. One thing, though, they did do is they incorporated in artwork from local artists. So each room has a different kind of set of arts, different kind of things that are locally made and sourced. So it was really tying into the Bozeman scene. And I thought that was kind of a unique experience just seeing there. So there's like some of the artwork that they had in each one of the rooms, and it would depict.
That's cute.
Yeah, depict like different things. You know, there's a lot of
infographics in the room. That's
right.
Cool.
Yeah. So you know, feel like
this goes right up your alley, Greg. I feel like
right
they knew that you were coming, so they had to share infographics as their art for you.
I know, right? It ties in so perfectly for what I would want. Be like, oh, okay, we're approximately 200 miles from Yellowstone. Yeah, it does. It's right up my alley. So I thought that was kind of a unique experience to do that. But then, you know, getting out from there, one of the things that I like to do, no matter where I travel, and I don't know if everybody else is like this, is I want to try out whatever the local sites are. And that can mean whatever's off the side of the highway. You know, I'll take recommendations, but sometimes you just drive, or if you can get out of town, and see what you find. And what I found was a bear sanctuary. So, you know, you think about Montana, and there's a lot of wildlife there. You're not going to necessarily encounter a grizzly bear just walking down the streets of Bozeman, but about 15 miles outside of town, there is something. And this is what I went to. It's called the Montana Grizzly Encounter. And it's a sanctuary for brown bears, which are grizzly bears, who can't be out in the wild anymore. For whatever reason, they were abandoned when they were cubs, or they were rescued from situations. And they have this giant enclosure where the bears can go out. They go out one by one. I found out they each have their own kind of separate den behind the scenes, because they don't get along when they're out there in the play area. So it's solo when they go out there, but they have this huge area to run around. They've got, you know, rocks and sticks, and they're gigantic, and they're like 12 feet away from you at one point. You're safe. There's like a moat and a fence that they can't cross, but they are very, very well taken care of and spoiled bears, and all the money that they raise goes directly to the bears and everything that they need. But it was just such a Montana experience, such a local thing to go do. Cool. Right? I mean, they look like you would want to reach out and pet them. I would not recommend that, nor do they. So they seem like they're giant dogs. I'm like, looks so friendly. It's Gentle Ben out there. It's not.
They're friendly bears. You know, it's interesting you say that, because when I was in Montana a couple years ago, I did that hike up to Inspiration Point near Yellowstone, and same thing. Like, my kids were so worried, because my younger kids and my husband were down below. My oldest son and I went up to Inspiration Point, and they said that someone had come down and said that they got crossed by a bear. So my kids were like freaking out, thinking that I was going to be eaten by a bear. But no, it's okay. Like you said, you know, maybe they're just friendly bears, like Yogi the bear. I don't know.
I would not recommend approaching a bear, especially in the wild.
Of course.
But yeah, you know, it's just kind of a cool little thing to do. And, you know, when you go traveling, just kind of check things out, check out the hotel, and check out what's around. And I know, you know, you have been doing some traveling as well that I know you wanted to share with us. I'm always excited to find out where you go, because it's probably fancy.
Well, you know what? Yeah, I sometimes like my fancy. That is true. And I gotta tell you, I feel like I am the hotel connoisseur here, because I feel like I know a lot about hotels. But I will tell you, this is a hotel I've never visited before. And it sort of, to be honest, kind of blew my mind. Let's go ahead and show some pictures, if we will, here. I say at the Indian Wells Hyatt, Regency Hyatt here in Southern California, not too far from Palm Springs, not too far from Joshua National Park, which is an amazing national park, by the way, if you've ever visited. But let me just say that this was one time where we literally did not leave this hotel. And if you visit this hotel, I don't think you're going to leave it. In fact, I will also say that when we were finished with our stay, my children did not want to leave it. So Indian Wells Hotel is absolutely incredible. And why is it incredible? Let's talk about the many reasons. So first off, beautiful resort. I love Hyatt, obviously we know, but they had a full-blown water park at this location.
Wow.
They had these huge slides. I don't know if you see it. You're going to probably see a picture. Okay, this is my room, by the way. Okay, this is the left is the bathroom. The right, this was actually private in part of our room in a fenced out backyard of our room. So the concierge there recommended the villa. So this is actually a villa. This is our own jacuzzi.
That's
I
so
have
cool.
never been to a hotel room with your own jacuzzi.
Your
It was
own outdoor
warm.
backyard jacuzzi.
Yes.
Yeah,
And not
that's-
only was there jacuzzi, if you look, there's even like a safety ring there too, like lifesaver ring. And then there's a propane barbecue. And we took advantage of that, right? We brought our own
wow.
food. I mean, but wait till you see the water slide. This thing is bananas. I don't even know how tall it is, but those of you who had kids, and I've got 3 little ones, this place was incredible. It was like, so this is a water park. You see how tall that thing is?
Yeah.
It's like going on the top of Disneyland and sliding down in water into the pool.
That looks like so much fun.
It was so much fun. It was so much fun. And you're there and you actually forget that you're in the middle of the desert. This is my husband going down the slide right now because we had to film it because it's so cool. But yeah, we went through that over and over and over again. And this now is officially here in Southern California. In California, this is my kids' favorite California hotel.
This
So-
makes perfect sense why they didn't want to leave. I wouldn't want to leave either, by the way.
The Hyatt at the Hyatt. This is what they call it. They said the Hyatt is a verb in our household now. So this is the Hyatt that they're singing. So of course, because of that, I had to do some research, right? Because I was like, I'm meeting with Greg. He's going to want to hear. So this water park has 2 30-foot dueling slides. So you go down to see who lands there first.
Oh, I love it.
And a 450 feet lazy river, jogging past tennis facilities, family movie night. By the way, the breakfast buffet is incredible too. It was so much fun. We did ping pong outdoors, and the crazy thing is, this is actually in the middle of the desert, but you literally feel like you're in Hawaii. So
That is so cool. Palm Springs is one of the, I actually have never been to Palm Springs and have heard it's amazing. But when I go, that is where I want to stay.
you need to go.
I want a
You
water
stay.
park.
Yeah.
At the hotel.
Yeah.
That you
And
can just walk to. That's incredible.
And when you go, I'll definitely call it in for you because the great thing about Hyatt is I have globalist status. And one of the benefits is I actually can share my status with you, Greg, with my friend. I can call it in and it's a really beautiful thing. But on that note, this is kind of a good segue because I am so excited to welcome the one and only Mark McGoey, who is Director of Loyalty and Brands for the Americas and Franchise at Hyatt, who's responsible for driving loyalty brand business goals for all Americas and global franchise Hyatt hotels. He represents both the World of Hyatt loyalty program and Hyatt's portfolio of brands, recently served as Director of Partnerships for Hyatt and responsible for leading Hyatt's financial services partners, Chase and Visa. And previously to Hyatt, Mark held various leading positions at United Airlines. Mark, welcome to the show.
Hey, Winnie, I'm very excited to be here with you.
Thank you so much for being here. We are so excited to have you. You must hear about these sort of stories all the time. Right? These exciting stories at your properties.
Oh, endless. Between friends, family, colleagues. You were showing those pictures of Indian Wells and actually took me back. We hosted an event there just before the pandemic hit us back in February of 2000. We had a special event at the golf course there for 3 nights. We rented a block of rooms, golf course. We had a world-class instructor in David Ledbetter, winemaker dinners. The water park, though, it's great to see that you were able to experience that. When I was on property, that was just in the final stages of construction. And I know they opened that, I think, fall of last year. So it's great to hear that you had a great time there with your family.
Well, Mark, I'm going to say, because I know you got little ones, I feel like if you take your little ones, you are going to be the most popular dad in class. When they ask, what does your dad do? They're like, oh, my dad's a fireman. My dad's an attorney. They're like, my dad works at Hyatt. That's like, I feel like you would win it there, Mark.
I think we'd try to break a record on how many times you can go up and down the water slide in one day.
Yes.
Yeah,
we'll
I'd be
compete on
interested in
that, huh?
record.
Greg, we'll have to compete. Like all 3 of us will have to do this. And actually, so I see Robin Stevens joining us also on LinkedIn Live, and she's saying, I've always wanted to go to Palm Springs. Hey, I'm your friend too. Yes, you're my friend too. Yes, absolutely. We gotta share. Vicky is joining us from the UK. Vicky, interesting stuff. By the way, I know there's some great hotels near you as well. So we're excited to do a deep dive here. Mark, let's jump in. Let's talk about the World of Hyatt. I know you're launching a brand new business credit card, and selfishly, I would like to learn more about it. I run a business. I have the Hyatt card, the personal card, but I'd love to learn why you decided to go in this direction.
Yep. So as you mentioned, we launched on October 6th the World of Hyatt Business Credit Card, really geared towards small business owners. We started the work about 2 years ago to start looking at how we can evolve our portfolio of credit card products that we offer our World of Hyatt members. And we really started with listening, leaning in to better understand what our members wanted, and specifically our small business owners. We have a pretty large percentage of our World of Hyatt membership base that are also small business owners. So we went out to market with research. We had a lot, as you can imagine, of interviews, of focus groups, of surveys. The pandemic set in. We put a pause on it, and then we went back out to understand how had their businesses evolved during the pandemic. We know that during that time, Winnie, yourself, Greg, all of us, the demands were exponential. So we really wanted to make sure that we leaned into developing a product that was personalized to this audience and really address some of those issues in this evolving world. And that's what we believe we've come up with, and we're really happy with the product. You've got the screenshot right there, which is great to see. And again, the card really leans into personalization and it gives card members the opportunity to both earn more points. It's the fastest way to free nights. You earn your points on your business expenses, on the business that you're running, and then you can use those points, whether they're redeeming them for business expenses or redeeming them for personal travel with your family, to really reward the ones that you love, those experiences for all that time that you devote to running your business.
Mark, talking about the card too, and that sounds like a lot of benefits. And I love that, targeted towards small businesses too, and listening to what people wanted. What are some of the distinct features? Maybe you can explain a little bit more of that as far as the distinct features and benefits that come with the card.
Of course. The one we're most excited about is what we've deemed the Adaptive Rewards Accelerator. So if you're familiar with other credit cards on the market, most credit cards give you a set number of bonus points per spending category. So you get 3 points on airlines, 2 points on dining, et cetera, et cetera. On the World of Hyatt Business Credit Card, in addition to the 4 points per dollar that you receive when you stay at a Hyatt hotel and pay with your credit card, we track what are your top 3 categories each quarter and then award you the bonus points on that category. So let's say, for example, in first quarter, you're flying a lot. You're going to meet vendors who are developing a product that you're wanting to launch to market. You're going to meet partners to put those parts together to develop the product. Say quarter 2 comes around, you're spending a lot of money on social media advertising. You want to make sure that you're getting your message out, you're getting your product in front of the potential consumers. And then Q3, you're finally able to deliver that product to the end consumer. The way that the Adaptive Rewards Accelerator bonus works is that you're able to earn those bonus points based on how you spend. So each category, each quarter, your top 3 categories are tracked by our system. And at the end of the quarter, we reward you the bonus points, the second bonus point on all of that spend. So there's nothing that the card member has to do in terms of opting into selecting their categories. They don't have to track anything. We want to make sure that the card is giving you the flexibility, but also making it easy. We know that as small business owners, there are 1,000 demands on their plate. We want to make sure that the rewards that we're giving you are easy to use, that you don't have to remember 1 month it's in this, 1 month it's in that it's as easy as possible to earn those bonus points. So I think that's the one we're probably most excited about.
Yeah, I love really that, cool. Mark. Yeah, Greg, I mean, that's really convenient for you and I because we run businesses and those are so many common expenses that we do, right? I don't know about you, Greg, but what I love to do is I like to use my business spending and then on the card, and then I take the points that I earn from my business spending. Then I take my family and kids to go meet Naiji over at Indian Wells Hyatt. That's probably what we would do. Mark, let me ask you this. I currently have the World of Hyatt personal credit card. And I see, actually, I should say, Bethany Walsh from Bougie Miles is here as well. And she's actually someone I go to for a lot of my travel tips and whatnot. But I have the personal World of Hyatt credit card. And let's talk about the World of Hyatt business now. Do I need both cards? Should I carry both cards? And more importantly, can I actually have both cards?
So I'll start at the end and work my way back into your questions there. Yes, by all means, we are fully encouraging that if you're a small business owner and you currently have the World of Hyatt credit card, by all means, go and apply and get both credit cards. It's a great way, one, to separate your expenses. So all of your business expenses are separate from your personal expenses. There's no restrictions on having both cards at the same time. And the benefits are different. On the World of Hyatt consumer credit card, we give an annual free night to redeem at any of our hotels or category 1 through 4 properties across the globe, which is a really exciting benefit that you get just for having the credit card. On the flip side, for the World of Hyatt business credit card, you have a $100 statement credit that you can use in increments of in 2 occasions, $50 each occasion, at any of our hotels, and that can be applied towards your room rate, food and beverage, a spa treatment. If you're a small business owner and you want to have a meeting, you can put it towards your meeting. Really, again, leaning into the flexibility and personalization piece for small business owners, and not just restricting them to that Hyatt benefit being a stay benefit, but really making it applicable to any of our offerings that we serve. So by all means, yes, we highly encourage our World of Hyatt credit card members to go out and get both cards if they are a small business owner.
I love it. All right, Greg, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, hey, this all sounds fantastic to me. And something else that I wanted to ask about, you being the director of loyalty and brands and talking about loyalty, wanting to know, maybe you can explain to us what some of the changes are, if there's any changes coming to that, and what some of the unique benefits are to the loyalty program.
Yeah, definitely. So taking a step back, I think one thing that we really focused on, as I said, World of Hyatt is founded in listening and trying to understand where our members are coming from and design our experiences, benefits, and program around what they're telling us that they want and they need. So at the beginning of this year in 2021, we actually, knowing that travel is going to be significantly suppressed, both business and personal travel, we reduced our earning criteria 50%. So typically it would take, as Winnie is a globalist, 60 nights in a calendar year to earn global status for the next year. We reduced that down to 30 nights. In addition, that you can now also earn tier night credits based on spend on both the consumer card and the business card. We thought it was a great way to make earning status more attainable when a lot of our guests and customers weren't going to be out on the road. I think the other thing too is when we look forward, and again, the biggest thing that we're getting from the small business community, but also all of our members, is the desire to want flexibility. So a few weeks ago, we finally rolled out our peak and off-peak award chart redemption. We really think that this is going to give our members much more flexibility when they plan their trips. In some cases, when the hotel is full occupancy, the price in points has been slightly increased, but there's been a significant number of dates around the world that are now off-peak dates. So it's actually cheaper for you to stay on your points. So you ultimately get more free nights for the points that you have. That rolls out for all stays after March 1st of next year. But we're really excited because, again, we're really trying to build in as much personalization and flexibility into the program as possible.
I love that flexibility aspect. Sorry, I just that's exactly what I like to hear, when it comes to something like that. And it sounds like you really listened to people, over these last couple of years and just how people are staying, and to have those kinds of options. It's just really, really cool.
I know, Greg. So this is exciting. I'm echoing you for sure, Greg, because I agree with that too. I love that. I love that they're giving that flexibility. If you have more flexible schedule, that you can, use your points and miles. And I also will say this. I love the Hyatt partnership with American Airlines, who that to me is so great because those are sort of my big partners. But Bougie Miles, who is joining us from Facebook Live, is talking about Hyatt's leverage pack program. So maybe that's something we can everybody sign up with everyone with the card sign up? It sounds like you can. It sounds like we can sign up, right? And Mark is saying for sure too. Let me ask you this. Obviously Greg had talked about how we are now getting back to travel, right? Hotels are getting a lot more busy again. I'm curious because even today we had a discussion on LinkedIn about different trends with millennials and their spending habits and whatnot, and starting families and a lot of trends in general. But when Hyatt sees today's traveler, right? What are some of the changes to your approach to welcome visitors back? You talked about, lowering the criteria for the wonderful loyalty programs, but do you look at that? Do you say like, well, okay, tomorrow's traveler wants these creature comforts or that, and how do you like navigate through that, Mark?
Yeah, I think one of the things we've really invested in as a corporation over the last few years is increasing our brands. really leaning in towards lifestyle and luxury. We have some great traditional brands in Grand Hyatt and Hyatt Regency that in the markets that we operate in serve a great purpose, whether it's meetings or vacations, conventions. They're great, fantastic hotels. But a lot of travelers, when they're traveling on leisure with their family or meeting with their friends, are really looking for hotels that have a unique voice, a unique perspective, fantastic F&B outlets, but are still part of a global loyalty program where they can earn points and benefits. So when we acquired Two Roads Hospitality in 2018, we got an unbelievable set of brands: Thompson Hotels, Joie de Vie, Destination Hotels and Residences, and Alila, which if you've been to any of our Alila properties, they're gorgeous to say the least. So we're really working on not just developing our core set of properties, but really going much broader and leaning into what the new consumer, as you mentioned, Winnie, wants. The lifestyle, the luxury properties, great F&B outlets, just a unique, fun experience. One great example is a few weeks ago, I was at a brand new property in Culver City, Los Angeles, called the Shea. Fantastic restaurant on the lobby level, great rooftop bar, and just a really unique design that fit really well into that area. It's actually one of the few areas of Los Angeles that's walkable, at least in the surrounding blocks. So really doubling down on that growth in the pipeline of just some wonderful lifestyle and luxury properties.
I love that. I love that.
Looking at that too as a whole, through 2022 and beyond, clearly a lot of changes coming and a lot of exciting things. What are some maybe more specific things that guests can look forward to from Hyatt?
I just to be general, Greg, I think it's just getting back to travel.
Right.
We have thousands of associates around the globe that are just can't wait to have more guests walk into their hotel. I was in Nashville last week, which was staying at a few hotels, visited a few more of our properties. Just a lot of energy, a lot of life in the city. And you can just see that in the eyes of our front desk associates, people whose passion it is to serve our guests, to provide them with great hospitality and great travel experiences. They can't wait for people to return. So I think just from a fundamental level, providing great hospitality, providing care for our guests, up and down, that we were really just excited as people come back out, whether it's lifting the international travel restrictions and we're getting more of our European, our Canadian, our Mexico friends to come into our properties here in the U.S. and vice versa, just allowing, a lot of our U.S. citizens to travel abroad to experience some of our great properties. I think it's just, showing our true hospitality to our guests and members is something we can't wait to do.
I love that you said that, Mark, because I couldn't agree with you more. I got to do a shout out. Like Naiji, I think at the Indian Wells, your staff, they're just so welcoming. You're so excited to see people back, right? Even the person who was like tell you where to park the car, like that energy, they're just excited from getting closer to the end of the pandemic, hopefully with the end of the pandemic and things getting back to normal. But it feels very normal. When you go to these hotels, it doesn't feel like, that stress. It's very, they did it in a very careful, thoughtful way. So I'm excited to hear that. But Mark, we couldn't have you on the show without answering this very important question. And that is, I want to know, what are some of your favorite hotels, favorite Hyatt hotels that you would recommend? Because obviously I feel like I'm a pretty good connoisseur here on the West Coast and probably in New York and a few states here and there. But there's got to be some places that you would recommend, since this is what you do for a living, that Greg and I should, I know Greg, my kids and my husband, we haven't been everywhere either, but I'm guessing, Greg, you've traveled a lot of places we haven't been. I'm pretty sure Mark's traveled more than both of us.
Yeah, I'm going to guess so. Yeah, I really want to know too.
We want to know. I'm getting my pen out right now.
No, you're right. I've been very fortunate. I've been here with Hyatt for a little over 10 years and have had some incredible stays, experiences at some of our properties around the globe. Winnie, just closer to home to you in Southern California, the Andaz out in Maui, I imagine you've been there. It's an absolutely fantastic hotel. My wife and I spent a few days of our honeymoon there. Similar to your Indian Wells experience, we didn't leave the property. It's a beautiful hotel right on the beach, amazing pools, great F&B. I think closer to home, just down the street, I walked by it this morning, the Chicago Athletic Association Hotel. This is a historic building on Michigan Avenue here in Chicago, right across the Millennium Park. It's a great location, whether you're coming for business or leisure. Amazing rooftop restaurant called Cindy's. Great food, great drinks, just really unique architecture. To go further afield, had the privilege to spend 4 years with Hyatt in Switzerland. Park Hyatt Zurich's a great hotel. All of our Park Hyatts in Europe are really, it doesn't get better in hospitality. Park Hyatt Paris Vendôme, Park Hyatt Vienna in Austria is a truly exceptional property. I had to lean to one. I got to spend a Christmas a number of years ago at Park Hyatt Sydney in Australia, which is just a breathtaking property, amazing location right under the Sydney Harbor Bridge. Truly, truly special memories.
Whoa, I don't know, Greg. That like I feel like I have a really long time amazing client in Vienna, so I feel like I'm gonna probably say either Vienna or Sydney from that list. That's like I'm gonna. What are you thinking? It's almost like which one of these would you pick based on?
Yeah, that's a hard decision because I can't. I kind of want to just do all of the above, but
yeah, me too.
I would probably go Vienna too because I have not been international. Haven't gone anywhere in a couple of years since I started. So I think that sounds like a great way to kick it back off, to go back to Europe and check that out. So I would go with that one if I had to choose.
If you had to choose. I feel like we should just create a mark list and we should just check them all off. But I will say, Mark, there's a good chance I won't make it to the Andaz Maui. And I'm going to tell you why. Because my kids are in love with the Hyatt Regency Maui because they have penguins. And I don't know if you know that, but they actually have on-site penguins at the Maui Regency. So it would be hard for us to move to the Andaz because I don't think the Andaz has tropical penguins. Yeah.
You can't go wrong. They're both fantastic properties.
Brian Schumann is joining us on Facebook Live and saying penguins. That's right. Brian is like I call him the godfather of LinkedIn. But yes, we see you on Facebook and absolutely, you got to check this out. These are some great resorts. And honestly, I know that the travel community and the points community and then a lot of us who do this, a lot of traveling know that Hyatt's definitely a fan favorite. I know Bougie Mouse, who's joining us, Bethany Walsh she and I are always talking about the different hotels that she's been visiting as well. So what a treat. So those of you who are watching, we see so many of you, all different plans. Thank you so much for all your comments. I hope that we caught most of them. Feel free to submit and send us where you love to travel, where you went last, and more importantly, where you plan to go next. Because maybe Greg, Mark, would have some opinion and they'll help you out on that. But I will say, this is exciting. I'm so glad that we are back to travel. It didn't feel good. I mean, Greg, you've been traveling for work forever, but.
Yeah, I mean, I have been, but now it just feels different. Even this last trip that I went out, it's just things are it feels like more normal, whatever that is. And I'm just so excited to keep on traveling. Like I'd be fine going every weekend at this point. Or every week going somewhere different. So I'm very, very excited for this. Yeah, to see.
Yeah, I see nothing wrong with that, Greg. I mean, traveling every week, that's kind of like our routine.
Right,
Yeah, we just went to another state park this past weekend. This is what's really, really fun. I mean, and people have been asking me, I just did a segment on Good Day LA about what you should do for the holidays. How do you spend? How do you save? And I always say focus on experiences rather than gifts because that's going to stretch your wallet for sure. And these are lifelong memories that you'll have with your loved ones. But I feel like, Greg, it's time for speed round. Let's have some fun.
Yes, indeed.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so
all right.
I love that graphic. I'm sorry.
I love that you love it. Do you want to start? I feel like we'll let you start. How about that?
Okay, all right. So I want to make sure that I get this right here for speed round. So it's whatever is off the top of your head, Mark.
Get 1 minute.
1 minute. So here it is. So you've traveled all over the world, as we've been talking about. And if you found yourself stranded in one hotel, just one away from home, where would you want it to be and who would you want to be with?
I gave you my last answer all over the globe with properties. I'm going to keep this one close to home, and this might surprise some people, but we have a hotel in Oak Brook, Illinois, here, about 20 miles west of Chicago. It's the Hyatt Lodge Oak Brook, and it's a beautiful hotel, but it's we got to stay there probably 5 or 6 times over the last year and a half. Kind of a mini staycation for my family. They have an Olympic-sized swimming pool, which my girls love. It is, I don't know how many 100+ acres of wooded land around the property. A couple lakes there. It's just a very peaceful part tucked back in the woods of the western suburbs of Chicago. So I think from a just familiarity standpoint, if I was stranded somewhere, I'd be stranded with my wife and 2 daughters, and I'd want a place where they feel at home, and that's really what the Hyatt Lodge represents to them.
Oh, I love that. We'll have to check that out. I love that. Thank you, Mark. Sadiq is joining us, and he's saying that he says we got to go Istanbul because there are 5 Hyatts in just a small city of 20 million. That's amazing. Wow. And then Brian Schumann saying, sounds beautiful. Chi-town for the win. I love it. Very, very cool. Okay, so Mark, I have a more serious question. Greg asked the fun question. My question is very serious, and we don't take any yes. of these. This is of highest importance here, and that is they say that life is like a box of chocolates, but perhaps for you, Mark, we've heard from a little bird that it could be a box of donuts. So, Mark, we love you to tell us if you could only choose one donut, what would you choose?
Yes, you're right. That is one of my weak spots is donuts. Again, I'll keep this one local down the street. This opened up just a few months ago as a Stan's Donut Shop, which is a local chain here in Chicago. And ironically enough, the store is located in Hyatt Place, Chicago South, down in Hyde Park here in Chicago, on the south side of Chicago. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to go with a cake donut, vanilla frosting, rainbow sprinkles. It's a great donut, and I'll keep it close to home on that one.
I'm sure your daughters love that, Dad. See, any parent knows that you can't go wrong with the sprinkles donut. Anything glazed with rainbow sprinkles, you're in for the win. So very, very cool. I almost feel like, Mark, there should be a Hyatt donut tour. We should find out where the location of the greatest donut stores.
I'll put that on my project list for 2022. That's a great idea.
I mean, I think it works out. Winnie, you take everybody around Orange County. I'll take everybody out in Portland. We'll find
I feel we must do it.
To the Hyatt.
Greg, for scientific reasons, I feel like this is very important. I feel like we have a responsibility.
Very serious, very scientific. It's all about statistics.
Yeah, we'll do it for our viewers. We'll do it for you.
We'll force ourselves.
You don't do it for anybody, but this they're very serious. And for those of you watching, if you would want to volunteer to do this very important survey, maybe you should reach out, right? Brian's saying scientific reasons. Brian, I'm guessing you're going to take care of San Diego County for us, right? Near Comic-Con and everything else. Brian's saying, let's do it. I love it. Well, huge thank you, Mark, for your time, and thank you for sharing more of the information about Hyatt for us. I always love to learn behind the brand. Do you feel like, Greg? I feel like when I learn more about it, I love it more, and I understand the business process because it's so different when you're looking from the outside in.
Right. Yeah. I mean, learning what it is that was involved in it, how it is that you made these decisions, and just what it actually brings, and clearly telling that you love what you're doing too, and that you're doing this to make that, a better experience for everybody. It's just really, really exciting, fun stuff. So I just want to travel. That's I think the worst part about this is now I'm not going to stay in a travel or stay in a hotel tonight. So I've got to figure that out quick. I've got to plan something. That's the only thing. I'm like, okay, time to book something right now.
Yeah, well, I tell you, Mark, before the Indian Wells, I booked the Hyatt Residence Club in Sedona, and I booked it 1 hour before we left for a 7.5 hour drive because I said, why not? We decided to Hyatt. So, I feel like that's Love the spice of life. And Vicky is saying that jam donut from the UK, Mark, that you must try this. Sounds really great. Brian Schumann has created a hashtag, Hyatt Donut Tour. That is all right. I love it. Joshua with CrossTech Fighters. All right, let's do it. Why not? Brian says. Why not? In fact, well, thank you so much, my friends, for being and watching and supporting our program. A huge thank you to the one and only Mark McGoey, and of course, my awesome In the Loop co-host Greg Nibbler. It is such an honor to spend this time with you. But I think we're going to continue, Greg. Do we say that we're going to continue the fun on Friday?
Yeah, I believe. I believe we are, yeah, with an episode of The Loop. And thank you so much for having me on Level Up as well. I really appreciate the invitation to be here with you and Mark. So that was just fantastic. But yeah, talking about travel, I think we continue on and talk about that here later in the week too.
Yeah, we're going to make up the fact that we were both not with you last week.
Yep.
So we're going to do, you get us twice this week. So join us again on Friday for In the Loop as we continue this fun conversation. I believe Greg is going to bring more information on this topic. And of course, I'll bring financial news. We'll have a lot of fun. So thank you so much for watching this program. Take a moment to share the show all over social media with your friends, with your loved ones. And as a reminder, you can find full episodes of Level Up on NASDAQ, Amazon Fire, and Roku, and now also the CW in San Francisco. Be well, and I can't wait to see you again on Friday. Take care now, my friends.